Howdy do, friends. Without further ado, let's jump right in. DIY number 1. I'm using this Hello Summer sign. I picked this up at the Dollar Tree. I had this in my stash. I will be using this Dollar Tree calendar page. I removed the glitter and painted it with 1 coat of white acrylic paint. So I can just hear some of you asking, what did she say at the beginning of the video? That actually means, hello friends, how are you? So now that it is dry, I'm going to spread some Mod Podge in small sections. And once I spread that, I made sure to spread it thinly. I lined up the calendar sheet, making that little hole fall right in between where the 2 holes are on the board, and place the sheet down and just use my hand to smooth that out. And then I continued with the rest of the board. Just apply the Mod Podge and use the sponge brush to just spread that. And then I took the brayer and smoothed it out, made sure that there was no air captured underneath. And once I was satisfied, I then took a piece of parchment paper and the heat press, reactivated the Mod Podge to seal it. And that's basically that for that. I then took the sanding block and sanded off the excess in a downward motion. Now it's time to embellish. This ribbon I got from my friend. This was free. And the bee ribbon is from the Dollar Tree. I'm just gluing down that in the center of the burlap ribbon. And this is for further embellishment. You don't have to do this. I just wanted to highlight the bees that was already on the graphics or on the calendar sheet. I measured out the length that I needed, glued on the bee ribbon on top of that, and then just scrunched it in the middle like the awareness bow and use a piece of jute cord to tie that. Once I tied that and got my bow, I then took another piece of the bee ribbon to just wrap that in the middle to cover up that jute, and then dovetail the ends of the ribbon. And what dovetailing is folding the ribbon onto itself and just cutting off a little piece in a diagonal manner. Next, it's time to replace the hanger. I'm using some of these little wooden beads. I got these from BB Craft, and I evened out 3 on each side, and then strung the cord from the front, tied it at the back after I measured out the length that I needed, and then just glued down the ends. And to keep the cord or the hanger from swinging around, I just tacked down the jute and then glue down the ends at the back. Next, I took the lighter and just burn off the fuzzies. So the sign is $1.25. The ribbon I already had, the bee ribbon, if you want to count that, that's another $1.25. And the beads, I had those. The calendar sheet is roughly 12 cents because this is from full calendar that has 12 sheets. So in total, I would say this cost me $2.50 if you're going to count that. So remember that this needed a little touch of greenery. I had these pieces of boxwood pick. I just selected large enough pieces and glued those under the bow. Let me know what you think about this one. I believe this is one of my favorites. So this video is a part of the 5 under $5 Summer Decor Challenge. This challenge is hosted monthly by Emily from Farm Charm Chic, and each month she has a guest host, and this month it is Tammy from Happiness Created. These ladies are super talented. I enjoy their projects every time, and I'm not lying. I will leave links to their channels in the description box below, as well as the playlist. I will also link the playlist under the video for easy access. If you follow the playlist, you will hit all of the videos and you will get tons of inspiration for summer decor. Now let's jump into our second DIY. So these are the things we'll be using for this DIY. This is a 8x10 picture frame from the Dollar Tree. And this is a set of botanical rub-on transfers that I purchased from Amazon. They came in a set of 6 12x16 sheets. And this is a canvas pad from the Dollar Tree. I'll be using one sheet of that. Yes, it's actually canvas. I saw Holly from Lamb Living and I thought to myself, oh, I need to get myself a pack of those, the Dollar Tree, but I needed to get one. So I got it. And this is some air dry clay, also from Amazon, silicone mold. So I painted the frame using some white acrylic paint and a sponge dapper. And I just went across the frame with a sponge. And then I took a brush and then went over again to fill in those ridges. Now you can leave it as is with just the sponge brush just touching the surface of the frame, but I wanted to get into the little creases and crevices, so I used the chippy brush for that. Now I like to add my Mod Podge to seal the paint before I move on to anything else, so that is what you see me doing here. Of course, sometimes I forget and then do it afterwards. So here I selected the flowers that I wanted from the sheet and cut that out, and then these you just peel off the top part from the carrier sheet and place it down on your surface. Now I did that and I placed it on the canvas because this is actually the canvas that I'm using. And I took my little scraper tool and I'm just forcing the transfer onto the surface. Now you have to use a little bit of pressure to get that on there. And then once I know that it was fully pressed in, I'm just slightly now lifting the plastic that covered the transfer. And I had to be gentle because it's such a wide piece and it's very stiff. If you're not careful, you will lift the graphic that you want to get on your surface. So I had to be very careful. And I worked my way all the way around until I was done. If you want to recreate this, the picture frame, of course, is $1.25. Your canvas pad is $1.25, but you only need one sheet. And then you can use any transfers from the Dollar Tree, any rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. If you are interested in this transfer, I will link that in my description box below where you can purchase that. It will be in my Amazon store, so you can grab that. Now I thought that I was going to just add some Mod Podge here, and the purpose of the Mod Podge is just to tone down the sheen. But while I was adding the Mod Podge, the thought came to me, why not just distress it with a little white paint? So I took a little white paint and the chippy brush again and just went across the picture in one straight motion vertically. And this is what it looks like when I was done. Tone down the sheen a whole lot. So I had pressed my clay into the mold and left it to dry. Didn't leave it long enough to dry, but because of course I'm crafting and it's late and I need to get my work done. So this one came out a little soft, but anyway, I still worked with it and I just trimmed that down. And then I took a little antique wax on a little piece of baby wipe and distressed that. And I used a little fix-it-all glue to glue that on. So if you are new to my channel or coming over from the playlist, welcome. I'm so happy you joined me today. Here on my channel, I do DIYs on a budget, dupes, look for less, and thrift flips. If you love budget-friendly DIYs like these and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit that notification bell. Hit it again and select all so YouTube notifies you whenever I upload new videos. And then I took the chippy brush again and distressed the frame. So next I took a baby wipe and I cleaned the glass and then sat that aside. I still wasn't done with my little canvas art, so I took my stamp and I just cut out the words "Hello Summer" and used a piece of tape to just give me a straight line across and then stamp on the words. This part is optional. You don't have to embellish like I am doing. You can if you want to, you don't have to. This is just additional embellishment. Guys, remember that this is a part of a playlist, so don't forget to check out the playlist link down below. And then I made a small jute bow, glue that at the stem of the flowers just to give it the appearance that it was the jute that tied the flowers there. And then I placed it back in the frame, put the back on, and the one of the little stem that held the back in broke off, so I glued that in. And that is that one, guys. You'll see more of that in the final reveal. Alright, so for DIY number 3, we'll be using this cutting board from the Dollar Tree. This one I also had in my stash. A sheet from this Dollar Tree 2024 calendar. I selected the one with the butterfly, of course, and this Mod Podge Multi. This is a new formula from Mod Podge that has everything. All of the Mod Podges put together is in this one formula. So I took my sanding block and I'm just sanding down the surface of the cutting board just to make it a little bit smoother. And then I just shook my Mod Podge up and I'm applying a little bit at a time. And then to give me the center of the calendar page, I just folded it a little bit and then placed it down. I then took the Mod Podge brayer and just rolled that in to remove any bubbles, and then just continue down until everything was completely covered. I then took the parchment paper and my heat press heat press to reactivate the Mod Podge and to seal this. I use the hot gun to just dry it up a little bit, and then there it is, guys. I love how it looks. And then I took the sanding block and sanded off the excess. Now this was so tightly sealed with this Mod Podge, I did not need to give it a second coat, and I was happy about that. So then I took the X-Acto knife and just cut out that middle piece. I then took my finger sponge and a little antique wax and just distress the edge of the board or the edge of the sign to make it pop a little bit. And for further embellishment, this step is optional, guys. You don't have to go any further with this if you don't want to. I chose to just wrap the handle with some jute cord to just give it a finished look. Now when I flipped it over, I realized that the lines on the calendar were visible. So I just added one coat of white acrylic paint and left that little spot right there where I'm going to be placing that stand. Painted the stand with some white paint as well, and now I'm applying some Fix It All glue to the back to hold that in place. And this will help our little stand to stand on its own. And of course I use a little hot glue for instant hold. Now I thought that it still needed something else. I didn't want to go too heavy with any further embellishment, so I just made a little bow from the lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree and glued that at the top left. Now if you want to calculate the cost of this, Again, the Dollar Tree calendar sheet. That's one sheet from the calendar. The cutting board, I had this in my stash from it, was $1. And the Mod Podge and ribbon I already have. So you could say this is $2.25 if you want to, or $2.50. And then just to tone down the sheen a little bit more, I just use a little Mod Podge on the sponge to just go over the surface of this. I wanted the ribbon to pop a little bit more, so I took the green paint pen and just lightly stroke it. And you let me know what you think about that, whether or not I should have left it alone, or whether the little touch of green made a difference. You will see more of that in the final reveal. Now on to DIY number 4. Here is another picture frame again. And this is a free printable that I got from Whiskey and Whitney. And I just took it to Staples and printed it on a hard copy paper. And this is folk art linen tool that I'll be using to paint the picture frame. Now I'm using the sponge brush, and just like the one in the previous DIY, it's just painting the top part of the frame. So I wanted the grooves to be painted. I took a paintbrush and just went in and paint that. And now it's all done. I want to capture the same shade or the same colors that's on my printable. So I took some yellow daffodil and a sponge brush again. And I'm just dabbing on the paint on the surface. And this is what it looks like. Now this part is optional. Of course you can stop here. But I want to use my folk art terrazzo flakes. I am a plaid ambassador, so they sent this to me. And I'm using the sealer. We have the terrazzo sealer and the terrazzo flakes. So I'm going in heavy with the sealer, using this paintbrush to just get a lot of it in all the little openings. And then I'm going to shake my flake. I'm going to sprinkle the flake on the surface. Yes, I just applied the sealer and I'm now sprinkling the flakes. This is my second time using it, and of course I'm already in love with this. So I'm just putting it down heavily so that a lot of it can stick where it wants to stick. Now this is optional. You can do as little or you can do as much. I wanted to have a lot on here, and then I just took it, stood it up and just shook off the excess. And this, you leave it to dry for an hour, and then you apply the second coat of sealant. Now while that is drying, I am now going to work on my printable. So I took the sheet that came from the picture frame, placed it on the printable because of course it's a little bigger, and I'm just tearing it to give it a rough edge. And after that was done, I'm using my school glue to glue on the printable on the sheet. Turn the sheet on the wrong side or the upper side and glue that on. Now this is all you need. You don't need any hot glue or any other fix-it-all glue or anything. All you need is some school glue. And once I glued that down, I just used my hand to just smooth everything out. Now this is the frame again. It's time to apply my second coat of the sealer. It wasn't quite completely dried, but I am applying it anyway because of course I can't wait for it to dry. This is nighttime and I need to go to bed, okay? But you need to leave it to dry properly. So once I applied my second coat, I left that to dry, and now I'm ready to put my insert in. So once I secured that, I have these little bees, and I thought of just putting on a few there just for further embellishment. And that is done, guys. $1.25 for the frame. The graphic was free. Of course, you can use another calendar sheet there as well. And that is, call it $2.50 if you want to. Now this one is my least favorite, but anyway, we're doing it. This is a tote bag from the Dollar Tree. I thought of using this napkin, but I wanted to change up the color on the tote a little bit, so I took some red paint and my broad distressing brush. It is. I got this from Plaid as well. And I just dipped it in the red paint, offloaded a lot of it on the cardboard, and I'm just slantly or applying it slantly on the bag. In my mind, it looked like, it was gonna work. I like it. In my mind, I liked it. But then once I started doing it, I wasn't liking it too much, but I kept going. And then this is some Waverly moss. I did the same thing, just offloaded on the cardboard and then just went diagonally with the brush. Now why I'm using the red and the green is because I wanted initially to use the napkin, and if you notice, the napkin has red and green in there, but that I changed my mind because I wasn't liking how it was looking after I did all of that. So of course I had to change course. This is a stencil. I think I got this from Panda Hall Selected, I believe. Yes. So I'm going to use the middle part here. So I just cut that out and then peeled it off. This is new, so you have to fuzz it so it doesn't stick too much to your surface. And then once I fuzzed it, I placed it down on the bag, and I'm going to use these. I got these pastes from Amazon. These are linked in my Amazon store if you are interested. It was a set of 6 different colors. I think it was $9.99. So I placed my stencil on the bag, and then I just put a piece of cardboard in the middle just to, prevent anything from seeping through. And then I took my little squeegee and I'm just stenciling on the paste. Not too much, just enough to spread it. And I did that for both sides. And then after I was done, I just lifted it a little because I don't want to leave it on there too long where the paint starts drying. And then I went in with the other color, which was the orange. Guys, don't forget to check out the playlist down below. Emily's channel as well as Tammy's channel and all the other creators on the playlist. You will not be disappointed. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, I thank you so much for coming over. I really hope that you would consider subscribing and stick around. I do enjoy having you here. And don't forget to hit that like button and share button and the notification bell as well, so you're notified every time that I upload. Now, as you can see, I was laughing at myself because I'm like, Christine, what is this? But anyway, I'm trying to redeem myself, so I cut off some of my transfers and I'm going to just do something. This is like days after, because I sat it down and was like, not liking this anymore. So at the end of it, I'm like, let me try and see if the transfers will work on here. And they actually did. And that redeemed the bag a little bit. But let me know what you think about this, guys. I love it anyway. I love the transfers. The transfers really did make a difference. And this is $1.25. Everything else I already had. You can take this to shopping, you can take this to the beach, put your little flip-flops in there, a towel, knickknacks or your snacks. Let's get to the final reveal. And here we are. Let me know which one of these 5 under 5 DIYs was your favorite. I do have a few favorites, but that's just me. Let me know which one was yours. And like I said, don't forget to check out the host channels as well as our playlist. And guys, I will be drawing my giveaway at the end of the week, so if you have not yet watched that video, I will link that at the top. Make sure to check that out, and I will do my drawing and post that on my community page on Sunday. So if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and do so before you leave. And if you love budget-friendly content like this one, I suggest this video right here or this playlist. And stay safe, my friends, until my next one. Bye.